Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce us from the group of 9, which member of Agnetia Evelina, Muhammad Aqli, and myself Yuvia. This assessment we submitted to fulfill one of these assessments for the Introduction to Linguistics course. One of this question we will discuss about the word of language. Definition of word and language. Definition of word. Webster Umbridge Dictionary defines a word as the smaller independent unit of language, or one that can be separated from other such unit in an range. Definition word with term continuous. Words are easily separated by space in writing and distinguished phonologically as by accent. Define a word, a surprisingly difficult term in linguistics, as an abstract sign that is the smaller grammatically independent unit of language. All language have words, but the particular sign a language used to express particular meaning is arbitrary. Definition of language. Van and Besner define language as the finite system of elements and participle and principle that enables speakers to construct a sentence to perform certain communicative work. The part of system that enables speakers to generate and interpret grammatical sentence is called grammatical competence. This includes knowledge of the speech sounds that are part of language and how they can and cannot be chained together. Grammatical competence also includes the meaning marked by different sound sequence in a language and how to combine this meaning unit in word, phrases, and sentence. The concept of language. 1. Henry Sweet thinks that the concept of language is the expression of idea by means of speech sound combined into words. Words are combined into sentence. This combined answering to that of idea into thought. 2. Bernard Bluch and George Trager thinks that the concept of language is a system of arbitrary vocal symbols by means of which a social group operates. 3. Derbyshire thinks that the concept of language is undoubtedly a kind of means of communication among human beings. It consists primarily of words of vocal sound. It's articulator, systematic, symbolic, and arbitrary. 4. Noam Chomsky thinks that the concept of language is the inherent capability of the native speaker to understand and form grammatical sentence. A language is a set of finite or infinite sentence, each finite length and constructed out of a finite set of elements. 5. Patanjali thinks that the concept of language is human expression that's produced by different speech organs of human beings. 6. Lyons thinks that the concept of language are a principal system of communication used by a particular group of human beings within a particular society of which they are members.
The characteristic of language. Language is an arbitrary system of speech sounds or sequence of speech sounds which is used or can be used in interpersonal communication by an aggregation of human beings, and which rather exhaustively catalog things, process, and even the human environment. Language has some characteristics. There are systematic displacement, arbitrariness, spoken productivity, social, complete, and duality. Next, object of linguistic. Object of linguistic is a language. In this case, the human language. Linguist is the result of linguistic. They study everything about language from sounds, pattern, structure of language. Language as a linguistic object is really wide in its discussion. Even the smallest structure of language will be studied and discussed by linguists. So what is human language? Human language is the language that humans use, and is that language there are rules like grammar rules, vocabulary, writing rules, speaking rules, etc. In the object of linguistic or in a language discussion will be divided into several subfields, namely phonematic, phonology, morphology, syntax, pragmatic, and lexicology.
Okay, here I will continue the material. The next topic is the essence of linguistic and language. First, the essence of linguistic. The essence of linguistic are language and communication. Linguistic is a social science or knowledge that makes its discovery through research about how language was found, how language can change the way someone thinks, to understand in detail about language and its use in communicating, and etc. And then the essence of language. The essence of language is communication. There are people who use language as identification of race or nationality, even as a research topic, but language is a means of communication as its essence. Human language, which is the first language learned by experts, is the language used to communicate using simple sounds that can be understood by individuals with other individuals and individuals with groups or vice versa in the same origin or region. Okay, next, in linguistics itself, there are several subfields of linguistics, and that are as follows. The first is phonetic. What is phonetic, you ask? Phonetic is the study of sound. To understand the mechanics of human language, one has to understand the phonology of the human body. Letters represent sound in a rather intricate way. So the first is phonetic. The second is phonology. Phonology is the study of sound systems. The difference between phonetic and phonology is phonetic is about how sound is produced by human, and phonology is the pattern of sound that human make. The third is morphology. Morphology is a study of the minimal meaningful units of language. It studies the structure of words, however, from a semantic viewpoint rather than from the viewpoint of sound. The fourth is syntax. Syntax is the part of linguistics that deals with how words are put together into sentence. Sentence consists of words. These words are arranged into groups of varying size called constituent. The fifth is semantics. Semantics is the study of meanings in language. It is intimately connected with logic, the study of reasoning. The sixth subfield is lexicology. Lexicology is the study of linguistics that analyze the lexicon of a specific language. So, lexicology study lexicon to work in words that used by language user. This number 7 is pragmatic. Pragmatic is the study of human action, sign, words, sentence in using language. This is the subfield of linguistics, but this is just the micro subfield of linguistics. There's are macro subfield or types of linguistics, like social linguistics is the combined between linguistics and psychology. So it's about how human brain and language is connected. And then there's sociolinguistic is combined between social and linguistic. It is about how language can affect social or community and vice versa, and many more. There's many more macro linguistic types. Okay. Okay, now we go to the conclusion. The conclusion is there are languages like Chinese which don't insert space between words in writing, but speakers of this language still know what a word is in their language. Language is a structured system that is used to communicate, be it by speech, gestures, spoken language, signs, and writing. The concept of language is as a means of communication between social groups with an arbitrary vocal symbol system. The object of linguistics is language, in this case, the human language. The language system is to relate meaning and expression to truth and feelings. In language, there is a grammar in which to connect the expressions and meanings of the language itself. Linguistics is a social science or knowledge that make it discovery through research about how language was found, how language can change the way people think, to understand in detail about language and its use in communicating and etc. I think that's all for our group presentation this afternoon. Thank you for watching. See you next time, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.